This is from Nepal. Chris has just come back. That's why she's here. She's en route back to Canada. Just happened to drop into Summer Valley on her way back. Via Amsterdam, wasn't it, you went through?
Yes. So I was able to do a little side trip very inexpensively. And so I can spend a week here with you guys.
In the Great Summer Valley. Well, I don't know how it compares to the Himalayas. How does the Summer Valley compare?
Very, very tame.
We've got a big mountain over there, big slag heap, just north of Midsummer Norton.
A little bump.
A little bump. So how was Nepal? I mean, it's a friendly country, isn't it?
Oh, the people are fantastic. It's such a warm, friendly place with some fantastic views and sights and so many different things to do. It was just a very, very interesting trip.
Very good indeed. All right, well, we'll talk a bit more about it and we'll hear some of the music. Well, easing you into the morning, 10 here on Summer Valley, 97.5. This is the Eclectic Selection, playing music from Nepal this morning. It's a CD bought in a market in Kathmandu. It's called Wheel of Life. And Chris, my sister's just come back from Nepal. And you're saying you had a painting called Wheel of Life, did you, as well? Yes,
there are Thanka paintings that are hand-done by the monks. Right. In these schools, and we bought one actually called Wheel of Life, and it's just magnificent. It's going to sit so proudly in our kitchen at home.
What are the images on the painting? What are they of?
There's a god who's dressed up like a tiger.
Oh,
I can't remember his name, and he's holding a huge wheel, and it's all symbolic of the various stages of life, and all these traditional paintings are all sort of related to the Buddha.
Wonderful. That's it, life through music. Was there lots of this music playing as you went round Nepal? You could hear it.
One particular track, which I'm sure you'll play later, on Mane Padme Hum.
Oh, yeah. Have you heard of the expression earworm, which is where you have a tune and it gets in your brain?
Right. Every single music store you pass, they're playing that on the street.
All right, well, we'll have the earworm from Nepal a little later on the show. Music from the Wheel of Life from Nepal. Well, Matt and I and Jan, we all went to Nepal a couple of years ago, but on my recommendation, my sister followed me. It was a bit worrying, actually, when you recommend a holiday to someone and they actually go and do it themselves, so I think it might go wrong. Well, here's a bit more music from Nepal. What was your most sort of memorable activity you did over there?
There were three particular things, but I mean the first one that comes to mind is the elephants. We were taken to a very small village near the Chitwan Nature Reserve, and this village was just heaving with elephants. We started off at the breeding centre, and they let the little ones wander around in the crowd. So that was fantastic. Then we went down to the river and they were washing the elephants, so you could actually get on the neck of the elephant and go down into the river. And you weren't worried by it? I did not do that.
They're big beasts, aren't they?
They are huge, but I mean, they're everywhere. You're walking up the street back to the hotel for your dinner at night, and there's elephants passing you on the path.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just living with elephants. Amazing. And then the following day, we actually got up on the elephants. There's a fantastic platform, and you can quite easily get on their backs on the platform and sit down, 3 or 4 on the back of an elephant. And we went off trundling through the jungle.
Wow.
Seeing crocodiles, monkeys, deer, wild boar. I mean, that was the most exciting thing of the whole thing. There was a little herd of wild boar hiding in the dishes, and 2 or 3 elephants were kind of closing in on them to flush them out. And the noise from these elephants, they were trumpeting, and the one next to us was growling. You could almost feel the ground rumble because the noise was so loud. We were scared they were going to charge them with us on their backs.
Sounds like a great tour, because obviously you go into the country as a tourist, and to some extent you're a voyeur and you're looking, but you're bringing money into the country and you're giving jobs to people there and staying in hotels and buying stuff off them. But it's an amazing experience. You sounds like you got very close to Himalaya, given it's only a couple of weeks.
Close to the people. I mean, and they were just so magnanimous, so kind and generous, and we would give them the small tips of appreciation. In fact, just Steve Carver, the organizer of the trip, told us how to tip the elephant boy. And you just put a paper note in the trunk of in the end of his trunk, and he flips his trunk back and gives it to the boy sitting on his neck. It blew me away.
Brilliant. Well, they earn a few more. What is the money over there? What do they have over there?
Nepalese rupees.
Rupees. Okay. All right. Well, here's a bit of Nepalese music. Take us through. It's 20 to 11 on Eclectic Selection. rather haunting, isn't it, Chris? Really?
I love it. I want you to burn it for me.
Burn it for you. A copy of the CD? Is that legal? Can we do that? For my sister, I suppose I can. How was the group on the trip? How many people were on the trip, and how?
Well, I think because Steve is such a neat guy and such, has a good heart, he tends to attract really good people.
Oh.
So everybody on the trip was fantastic. Two particular was a couple called Claire and Nigel, who live in Abergavenny, who are probably listening to us right now. So.
Hiya there in Wales. How you doing?
But
shout loud enough, we'll get over to Wales.
Yeah. So they were all wonderful, wonderful people.
All right, lovely. And you did the elephant experience, which sounds very nice, in the jungle, and you.
The other huge highlight for everybody, I think, was leaving on a very, very early flight from Kathmandu on a small plane and flying up above the clouds and viewing the Himalayas.
Oh, wow.
And we would sort of fly from left to right, and then the flight attendant would identify all the mountain peaks for us. And, of course, the pinnacle, so to speak, was when we reached Everest.
Oh.
So everybody, each person on the plane, about 30 of us, were invited into the cockpit.
Yes.
Very briefly to take pictures. And, it was just a fantastic experience to all of a sudden you rise up above the clouds and there they are, all these magical-looking snow-capped peaks. And we, again, had perfect weather for it.
Perfect clear weather. And could you see anybody up Everest? People can go up there.
We were looking for, and they were looking for us, but no, we weren't close enough to spot people.
Once there was a mountain called Peak 15. Nothing was known about it. But in 1852, the surveyors found it was the highest in the world, and they named it Everest. When men were first drawn to Everest, it was an unknown quantity. Something entirely beyond them.
My sister Chris is here. It's Rob Bailey here on the Eclectic Selection, and we're recalling a great holiday. Chris is on her way back from Nepal. She's just dropped in on Summer Valley as she goes back to Canada.
The other really special thing was, through his connections, we were able to stay in a real Buddhist monastery.
Wow.
In an area called Lumbini, which is where the Buddha was born. And then we went by either rickshaw or bike to the Buddha's birthplace and saw the actual place where, he dropped out of his mum.
Wow.
under the sal tree.
It's a huge tree, and all the prayer flags. You've seen them whenever you've seen the Nepalese films, but these multicolour flags, thousands of them, aren't they, coming off the tree?
Yeah. And right next to the birthplace, there were several of these sal trees, and groups of people were meditating underneath them. So we joined. It was a beautiful day, and we just sat there and we had the most beautiful meditation, and it was just incredibly special.
There we go. Om Mani Padme Hum. That's the tune that's coming out of all the music booths all over Nepal.
The Nepalese earworm.
Yeah. Do you find that when you went, you come back from Nepal, looking at the huge mountains and the big landscapes there, makes you feel quite small, doesn't it? As come from our little cities and our little towns.
Yes,
and,
I think more than that, though, is the people, the simple lives they lead, and that they hand make everything. And the way they process rice. I can never look at a bowl of rice again with the same view. There's so much hand labour to producing rice.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, you do come away somewhat changed and a much greater appreciation of what we have in the Western world.
Music from Nepal on the Eclectic Selection. 10 minutes left of the show. That trip, a great trip with Steve Carver, Angel Holidays. It was a lovely summary you gave of that, and it's a little bit different, isn't it? It's
very special because you get to see things that normal tourists perhaps wouldn't see because of Steve's connections.
Yeah.
And it's a wide age group appeal too.